Good morning, good morning, everybody. It is day 4 of the Blueprint Live experience. Thank you for joining me. I'm excited. It is day 4, so we have covered a number of things. We have spoken about wealth care, the framework, why it is important to have this as the forefront principle and foundation in your business if you want to build a breakthrough business without burnout and overwhelm in 2024 and beyond. My name is Patrice Malloy. I am the affluent CFO, aka your financial fairy godmother, and I am here to talk to you about how to do this. It is so important for us to be able to understand as women, women in business, as spouses, as mothers, as partners, as all the things, how important it is to put our healthcare in the forefront. Our financial, our spiritual, emotional, and physical wellness is so important for us to be able to show up as our best authentic selves, as our brilliant and bold and beautiful selves. And it allows us to really be present with the people that we love and the clients that we support. So that is why we have decided to talk about this week and next week. Today is day 4. Like I mentioned, we are going to dive into the financial foundation in this pillar. And let me tell you why it's important to have your finances in order. None of us, at least no one that I know, got into business to be broke, right? We didn't leave corporate jobs making 6+ figures to be working twice as hard for half as much. We wanted to be able to have autonomy over what it was that we did and who we served and how we showed up. We did not want to be a slave to another business. And we wanted to build businesses that made money for us, not businesses that had us chained to the chair in order to make money for it. All right. I don't know about you, but my goal was to have the life that I wanted to have, to live the life I wanted to live, to be able to show up how I wanted to show up, to travel when I wanted to show up to my children's events, to be able to take off if I needed to be able to, rest up and recuperate if I was feeling sick, to be able to spend time with my extended family and in-laws and do all the things that you do that many people take for granted. So that is why I decided to do this. So I'm really, really, really excited to hear why you decided to have that and implement that in your business. So let's go ahead and get started. As I've been doing in the past few days, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to talk about financial wealth care today. It is very much important. It is so essential to building a business that is profitable, scalable, and salable. All right, ladies. So let me know if I'm missing anything. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. I'm going to be dropping links to our resources as usual, because I want you to be able to access them. Okay. It's super important that you're able to do that. I want you to see and feel and actually write things down and make it tangible and make it plain, because when you write down a vision and make it plain, it typically comes to fruition. Alrighty. So let me go ahead and share this. We are here at day 4. And again, please let me know if you were unable to see this. We're talking about financial wellness and mastering your money for a prosperous life. Now, here's my definition of what financial wellness means. Financial wellness to me is about achieving a state of financial health and stability that allows you to live the life you desire. It's not just about wealth accumulation. So we're not only talking about finances or money in the bank. It's about a holistic introduction or, experience of wealth. It's about managing your money in a way that aligns with your values and your long-term goals. It's about managing money so that you're able to travel, like we said, to be able to take, a quarter off during the year to spend time re-energizing and recalibrating and resetting yourself for the next phase of your business. It's about being able to commune and fellowship with other women and people in your community so that you're able to learn what they're doing and implement some of those skills and trainings into your business to take your business to the next level. It's about all of those things. So you really have to think about what wealth means to you and then focus on attributing those goals to that. Okay. So that's what we're going to talk about today. In case you can't tell, I've got on my money green today because we are talking about money. Like I mentioned, I'm excited. Let's go. All right. We talked about why it's important, and let's talk about why it matters. So financial wellness provides you the security and freedom to make choices. Choices. Money equates to choices. It equates to influence. It equates to power. It equates to decisions, right? That is why I think that wealth is so important, because again, when women have wealth, They make incredible, impactful decisions and shifts and changes on this world. So that is why it's important for me to support women in building wealth unapologetically. All right. Let's go back to this. So it is the opportunity, the security, and the freedom to make choices that support your overall well-being. We are creating sustainable financial strategies that support your lifestyle and business growth without stress or anxiety. Many times when we're starting to put our plans into place, we forget to think about what we want our lives to look like outside of our businesses. We forget that we need to think about, now that I'm going to be spending more time building a business, what is going to potentially lose some of my presence or interest or energy? Is it the house cleaning? Is it laundry? Is it being the chauffeur? Is it doing all the kind of administrative things in the household that have to be done on a daily basis? If that's the case, we need to start thinking about that, incorporating that into our lifestyle goals. Who would love to have a house cleaning service come in every couple weeks or a month, excuse me, to help take that off of your plate so that you can then reshift that focus into building your business and supporting your clients and customers? How about a chef? Because we've been talking about meal prepping, and that takes a long time, y'all, cutting up all those raw veggies and fruits and the meats and marinating them and putting them in the freezer and for the all the things. It takes a lot of time. So I would love for somebody to take that off my plate. So that is built into my lifestyle plan, a chef that will come in and support my family, helping us create really good, healthy meals that we can sit down and eat as a family because we have time now, right? It's thinking about a laundry service. Do you have that in your plan? People do laundry, y'all. You can pay somebody to take care of your laundry if that's not something you like to do. So I want you to start thinking about all these things. Is this something that you think would benefit you in your business and your lifestyle and your family? What about a chauffeur? For those of us who have children that can't ride the bus and you have to drop them off and pick them up at school every day, that takes time, not just because you have to actually take the trip, but because you have to wait in line with all the other parents who are trying to drop their kids off and pick them up, right? So start to think about these things and start to put into place how much it would cost for you to do that. Because when you do that, you can clearly see how much money you really need to make to have the lifestyle you desire each month. And that's what we're going to work on today. We're going to work on those foundational pieces so we can really help you get to that lifestyle that you would love to live, that you desire to have. Okay? So let's start talking about this. And let's go a little bit deeper. Again, we want to focus on things that are not going to increase our stress or anxiety, our overwhelm, our burnout. We're trying to take those things away from us and get them off of our shoulders, get all of the unnecessary things that we have off of our plates so we can be our best. We can show up as our best selves and we can just do everything that we're supposed to be doing with our lives. All right. Does that sound like a plan? If that sounds like a plan, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. If you can hear me, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. If you can't, let me know. I don't say give me a thumbs down, but let me know and I will make adjustments to make sure that you guys can hear me and that you're able to participate interactively because, again, this is an interactive experience. All righty. So our first daily exercise, ladies and gents, is that we're going to do our financial position analysis. I'm going to open this up and share with you. I'm also going to share the Google link so that you can make your copy and you can write in it with me, okay? Again, it is so important for us to do these exercises. And the reason why we're doing it now is because many times when we are given homework, we find reasons not to do it. We're busy, something came up, our attention was shifted to something else. So that's why we're doing it here today together. So I'm dropping the link into the chat. Please let me know if you can access it. Please let me know if you cannot access it. I want you to be able to see it. And then what I'm going to do is share it here so that we can go through it. All righty, ready? And let's expand this just a little bit so everyone can see. Again, please let me know if you were unable to see this. We are talking about claiming your financial power today and the importance of that. Okay. Now, I'm calling it the FEM positioning session. You can call it whatever you want to call it. So this is where we're going to take a stand and claim our financial space. And finally, unapologetically own our worth. So today we're diving into the heart of the financial health to get clear on where you're starting and where you're heading. Again, we talked about those foundations. Where are we now? We want to be able to identify where we are now so that we can make a plan to get to where we're going strategically. We want to create shortcuts where we can. We want to quantum leap from point A to point B if we can. And one of the points of having mentorship, to be working with somebody who is where you want to be, is that you're able to get that shortcut. You have to get those cliff notes. You're able to bypass some of those pitfalls and potholes and all the bumps and things that you really don't have to experience because somebody else did it for you, right? And it's showing you the path. So we're going to walk this path. Now, again, fiscal responsibility is not just about crunching numbers. It's not just about looking at your, bank account every day or every week and doing your bookkeeping. We're talking about setting ambitious, aligned goals that reflect your true value and potential. We're dreaming big. We're having those BHAGs, those big, hairy, audacious goals. We're putting them out in the forefront. We're writing them down on our vision boards. We're putting them down on notepads. You can do that so that we can have it on our computer or on our screens or wherever we need to have them to see them every day so that we are realizing what it is that we're working towards. We're doing all of these things. We are creating a proactive business roadmap that not only sets you up for success, but also empowers you to navigate the risks with confidence and grace, because there are going to be risks. There are going to be potholes. There are going to be ups and downs. There will be ebbs and flows. There will be unexpected things that happen. There will be unknowns. There will be unknown unknowns. So we want to make sure that we are planning as strategically as possible to make sure that we avoid these things. Okay? So let's get started. We are going to talk about our financial snapshot. The first thing we want to do is talk about our income streams. Do you know how many income streams you have right now? Where's your money coming from? If you're a service-based business, do you have a retainer? Do you have a digital product that you can sell? Do you have a masterclass? Are you doing webinars? Are you doing workshops? What are you doing? So we want to make sure that we identify every single possible stream of income that we currently have and list that. So again, list all of your income sources, your business revenue. This also includes your investments, right? Do you have a portfolio? Do you have stocks, bonds, crypto, alternative assets, real estate, 401ks, Roth IRAs, solo 401ks, SEPs? Like, what do you have? Do you have insurance policies? We want to make a list of all of these things so you can kind of see your wealth materialize in front of you. It could be a lengthy list, and it might not be. And if it's not, that's okay, because now at least we know what we're working with and what we want to work towards. So list those things. And we want to make sure that we have diversification in our assets and in our wealth. It's okay to be heavy in some things and maybe a little bit lighter in others, but we do want to make sure that we don't have all of our eggs in one basket. So again, that's why we are listing these things out and identifying what it is that we have to work with right now. Because the markets are volatile, meaning they ebb and flow too, just like everything else does, right? They have really high highs and sometimes they have really high lows, or low lows. And then people are getting their whole retirements taken from them because they, left it up to that risk. So just be mindful of those things. That is why it's so important for us to diversify, to make sure that we have things in other places, so that if one area of our wealth is impacted, we don't have to be as concerned because we have other areas in which we are experiencing growth. Okay. So think about that. And this might take a while. Okay. If you don't have bank accounts and things in front of you, that's okay. But just quickly list off the top of your head what you have available to you. And then we'll go ahead and we can move on. But as you're thinking about that, I just want to tee up the next section. Now that we're starting to identify those income streams, we really want to focus on what our expenses are as well. So what are you paying for each month? What are your mandatory expenses? Mortgage, car note, cell phone. If you're in business, what are your software, of subscriptions that you have to have in order to keep your business in an operational state? We need to think about those things that are absolute showstoppers. Like if you don't have them, then your business might stop. So those are the things we really want to start thinking about and focusing on. And then the next part of that activity is to identify what is it that is cool to have and you like it, but it doesn't necessarily keep the operational pieces of our business moving. So again, as you're finishing that income stream piece, we're going to start to think about those expenses. We want to start thinking about where your money is going each month. If you do not assign a place to your money to go each month, it will go out of the bank account and you will not know where it is. It's not going to go into your savings. It's not going to go into your profit account. It's not going to go into your tax account. It's going to go somewhere on silly things like Starbucks. And don't get me wrong, because I love a good Starbucks drink now, but I learned to make Starbucks at home. And every now and again, I'll go up because my daughter loves Starbucks for some reason. She's bougie. But, thinking about how to shift that money that I was spending on other things and reinvest it into my business and into my own professional development is what I was using my money for. So I had to do this as well. Because if you're working all these hours and you're working, with all these clients, you should be able to pay yourself in accordance with the energy that you're putting out. We forget as business owners, and especially as women, that we need to pay ourselves. Depending on how you're structured, if you're an S Corp, right, you should be paying yourself on salary anyway, meaning you're receiving a W-2. But even as solo entrepreneurs, even as, single member LLCs, you need to be able to make sure that you have money that's transferred from your business bank account to your personal bank account to make sure that your financial obligations are covered on a monthly basis. You're not supposed to work for free in your business. That's not what y'all, you see how passionate I am? That's not what we set this up for. I'm getting caught up with my words now because you're not paying yourselves. Okay? Make sure you're paying yourself. So again, back to our expenses. What are the expenses that are going out each month? I want you to break them down into categories. What are our operational costs? So again, we talked about those items that are absolute showstoppers for our business. What are your personal expenses? So if you're getting your nails done, if you're getting your toes done, if you're getting your hair done, if you're getting a massage every month, like what are those personal expenses? Do you have a chef coming in already? Do you have, somebody to come and help you with the cleaning? We want to document those as well. All right. We also want to talk about our investments. Are you sending money to a 401k? Are you sending money to a Roth IRA every month? Are you sending money to your brokerage account for them to manage the investments? Are you managing the brokerage accounts yourself? Do you have things like a self-directed IRA, right? Individual retirement account, which means you can kind of invest in areas that you like. Are you looking at things like ESGs, like economic, type of goods and things that are going to benefit, the world? Are those near and dear to your hearts? Are you investing in charitable organizations? Do you have a charitable trust set up that you're pushing money to each month so that when, it's your time to leave this earth, that somebody else will benefit from the money that you made? So we want to start thinking about these types of things and then making sure that we are capturing that because it's so very important. Alrighty. I want to be able to make sure I'm checking the chat really quickly just to make sure nobody has any questions. Okay, I don't see anybody saying that they can't access the document, so we'll get back into this. Okay, so take a little bit more time to think about those expenses as well. And the whole point is to know where your money flows because that's the first step in making your money work harder for you instead of you always having to work so hard for your money. Because again, you worked all week, but you don't know where your money went, right? If you've heard of Profit First is such an incredible methodology and framework that I leverage with my clients as well. We focus on paying ourselves first, hence the name Profit First. So the money that comes into your income account, on a daily basis, on a weekly, monthly basis, whatever, you then send money to yourself, either in the form of a salary or in the form of owner's draws, okay? Then you send money to your profit account, and it's a percentage based on where you are in revenue, annual revenue. Then we look at our operating expenses, our tax accounts, and then anything else that's kind of fun, right? But again, the focus is to pay yourselves first because you cannot do anything if you don't have money for yourself, right? You can't invest in those alternative assets. You can't invest in real estate portfolios. You can't invest in stocks and bonds if you don't have extra money. We're not pulling from our lack, right? We have to be able to do that and pour from our overflow and abundance. It doesn't make sense to put ourselves in a bad financial situation or a tough bind. We don't want to do that. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about as you're wrapping that up is a profitability check. What is your current profit margin? Do you know? Many people don't know what their profit margin is. Many people are not aware that there are industry benchmarks in your niche that you want to be working towards as far as profitability is concerned. For instance, consulting. Typically, there's a higher profit margin because you can do it yourself. You could do things like license your information. You could do training, workshops, facilitation. You can do all these things. And it really doesn't require a heavy lift from you personally. So that margin can be much higher. Okay. So that's typically in the 40 to 50% range. So is your pricing netting you a 40 to 50% margin at the end of the day? So for instance, if it costs you $1,000 to do something with your own personal time, are you charging $4,000 to $5,000 in order for that to happen? Are you charging $2,500? What's that profit margin? So you really want to start to think about that when you're doing your pricing, because we're not doing hourly work anymore. We don't work for hourly pay. That was corporate. That was W-2 job. Now you work based on the project. Is this a complex project? Is this going to take you a long time? Is this going to have you leverage your experience and expertise and education in order to accomplish the goal that the client's looking for? So we really need to start being strategic about that, because many times we underprice ourselves. We are undercutting ourselves. And essentially what we're doing is stealing from our future. Ouch, right? While y'all thinking about that, I'm just going to take me a little sip of coffee real quick. Why are we stealing from ourselves? And you can't be mad because you did it, right? So that's why we're having this conversation. We want to be able to understand what we need to do in order to make sure that our profit margin is where it needs to be for us to pay ourselves, for us to have a buffer, okay, in case something happens, because something will happen. We need to be able to make sure that we are able to invest in those investments, those brokerage accounts, that real estate that we love, those alternative assets that we're starting to get into because they're cool, that cryptocurrency, if that's what you like, other technologies that are up and coming. Maybe you want to be a venture capitalist at some point in time. Maybe you want to be an angel investor. Are you positioning yourself right now to be able to do that in the future? So we want to think about that. So in order to really get our profitability, we need to subtract those expenses from your total income. And you're essentially left with that profit. Now we want to make sure it's a healthy profit as opposed to little to no profit, because that means, again, that we are running on empty, right? We are doing ourselves a disservice because we have to make sure that we at least hit that revenue goal each month to stay afloat. We don't want to do that. We want to have excess. We want to have liquidity and cash flow in our business each month. We want to be able to have a buffer so that if we decide that we want to take a month off, you can do that without having to worry about where your money is going to come from, where your bills are going to be paid from. Say you have an emergency. Would you be able to cover it? Are you able to support yourself without insurance? If you have insurance, can you afford the monthly premium? So we really need to be serious about these things and think about these things intentionally. As we set our businesses up, we don't think about these things. We just kind of go out there and throw up a website and say, I'm in business, right? We don't formulate ourselves properly. We don't set ourselves up properly as far as our entities, right? LLCs or S corporations. We don't protect our assets. We don't protect our intellectual property, right? Why do we do these things? Because somebody on the internet said you could start a business and they didn't tell you how or what you needed to do to make sure it was a legitimate business, a sustainable business, a profitable business. All right, businesses fail every day because they don't have the foundation. They didn't have somebody to walk them through this process to say, hey, this is what you need to start thinking about before you put the cart before the horse. Okay? I digress. Let me get off my soapbox, y'all. Let me step down. Let's get back to this. So profit is not just about revenue. It's about smart management of both income and expenses. If you have a business that has more expense than income, you don't have a business. You have a very, very expensive hobby. And I don't want that for you. We're business owners. We're not hobby owners. Okay. So think about that. All right. Let's go to the next step. Now we want to talk about our cash flow confidence. And this is what I like to call it, because if you have cash flow coming in, that should give you some power. That should give you some confidence and comfort. All right. If you don't right now, we're going to work on that. So here's the question. How comfortable are you with your cash flow? 1 is being constantly stressed, meaning you don't have consistent cash flow or you don't have any cash flow at all. And then 10 is being completely secure. Now, depending on where you are in your business, depending on where you are as far as your money management skills go, depending on where you are as far as if you've had somebody to support you and guide you through this process, you could be all over the map. You could be making $50,000 in your business and have a really good cash flow. You can be making $1 million in your business and have very little to no cash flow. It's crazy like that, right? If we don't know how to manage the resources that we have, we could end up losing it just like that. So you really have to be mindful about those things. So again, how comfortable are you with your cash flow? 1 being constantly stressed, or 10 being completely secure. And obviously that's a wide range. And what we want to do is identify one area where you can improve your cash flow management. So for example, quicker invoicing. Ladies, why are we doing the work before we get paid? And by no means am I saying this in like an accusatory way, because I did this before too. I thought, oh, okay, I booked a client. I'm super excited about this. I'm just going to do the work and then I'm going to invoice them afterwards. Do you know how many times people didn't pay the invoices? So I got smart real quick and I was like, oh no. Before I start work, I'm going to be paid for this. So let's think about that. If you're not quite comfortable yet having them pay in full beforehand, maybe you could start implementing a 50% retainer fee or a 50% down payment in order for you to start the work. And then after milestones are reached in the project, or after you complete the project, then the remaining money is due. Let's think about that. If you have an invoicing system that works, let's shorten that window. So if you have something that's like net 30, meaning after the invoice is sent, you have 30 days to pay it, let's reduce that to 14. Let's reduce it to a week. Let's think about ways to get money into our bank account, much quicker to increase our cash flow. In addition to that, let's think about reducing those expenses. So when I started with this exercise, we talked about identifying things that are absolute showstoppers for our business. Those are the things that help our business run on a daily basis. Anything else is just fluff. If you can get rid of the fluff, you can probably put a good $1,000 to $5,000 a month back into your pocket. I mean, if you really think about it, some of these things are expensive. Some of these customer relationship management tools might be $500 a month. Some of these other sales apps, et cetera, can be very pricey as well. If you have somebody that's doing project work for you, you might be paying them $1,000 a month. So really think about what you can do to reduce some of those expenses. And to start off, have a very lean business until you get to a place where you have enough money to start to hire people and be able to pay them. Think about what you can automate with technology. Think about what you can train your current staff to do. Think about leveraging things like Loom for your onboarding process. Loom to create standard operating procedures. Have your people who are onboarding go to Loom for an orientation. Like, how can we really reduce the cost and increase efficiency and profitability in our business? That's what we need to be thinking about. That's a great way to be cash flow confident. Because cash flow is the lifeblood of your business. You have to keep it flowing smoothly to avoid bottlenecks. We don't like bottlenecks in our business. And many of the times we are the bottleneck. So I then ask you, are you the problem? Are you keeping your business from growing the way it should be growing? Are you restricting the cash flow because you're not collecting invoices quickly enough? You're not charging enough for your services and your expertise and your brilliance? Are you the bottleneck? I want you to think about that. That's a serious, serious question. Because many times as CEOs, we are the bottlenecks of our companies. That's why it's good to connect with other people in business, to be able to understand how they operate, to be able to understand some of the systems that they've implemented and integrated into their own businesses to grow, to scale. All right. That's cash flow. Now we're going to talk about our debt dynamics. What is your current debt situation? Are you managing your debt, or is your debt managing you? And I'm going to just pause for a second because I don't know who need to hear that, but your debt might be managing you. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, thought, oh my gosh, if I don't get this off of my back, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know how those nights when I'm like, Lord, please, Jesus, just help me get through this. I promise I won't do this again, right? Making these like quick decisions or decisions that were more so desperate, right? Because we were at a crunch. So really being mindful about the decisions that we're making and what the impact is going to be long-term is critical as well to your growth. So again, what is your current debt situation? And are you managing it, or is it managing you? Do you know how much you pay in debt each month? We're talking credit cards. We're talking about any personal loans. We're talking about any business loans, any SBA loans, any PPP funding or EIDL loans that may be still outstanding. Like, how much of that are you paying each month? Because that's getting into your profit. So what I'd love for you to do is just list those debts and those interest rates, because that'll give you a nice little rude awakening. It's like a punch in the face, right? Seeing how much money is going out each month based on these debts. And if we work together, there are ways for us to expedite that, to quantum leak that debt pay down process so that you can then refocus that money back into doing what you want to do with it, paying yourself more, putting money in your profit account, giving yourself a bonus at the end of the year, giving your staff bonuses based on their performance. There's a lot you can do with this money that's just out there being sucked by expenses and credit card debt and outstanding loans and all the things. I will say this though, not all debt is bad. Managed debt can turn quickly into unmanaged debt can turn into a quick energy drain though. What's good debt? Something that's going to help your business grow. Debt on a residence that you're planning to use as a short-term rental, because it will turn into an income producing asset. If you invest in your business, it should turn into an income producing asset. Those are good debt investments. Something like a brand new car is not a good investment because the value drops drastically when you leave the lot, right? Debt on a vacation. I mean, I guess you get points, but was it worth it? Unless you turn that into a work trip and then you can write that off. That makes sense. But be very mindful and think really hard and critically about what it is that you're doing with the debt. And is it managed or not? And I won't belabor this because I know that debt can be a very sensitive topic, but we need to be talking about this. We need to be getting it out in the open. We need to be understanding what we can do to change the situation, because there's no reason for us to suffer in silence when people can support you through this process. They can help you get out of it much quicker. Why stay in it and stay miserable? Like why would we even want to do that? All right. Now we're going to go to our savings and reserves. Do you have a financial cushion? If so, how many months could it cover your expenses? So again, when I'm working with my CFO clients, we look at a burn rate. How much money do we have each month? How much are we burning on these expenses? We also look at our runway, our cash runway. How much do we have before we're going to run out of money? Do we have half a month? Do we have 3 months worth of cash flow before we run out of money? Do we have 6 months, right? You want to identify how much you have so that you can make adjustments to increase that runway. Okay. If you don't have an emergency fund, and sometimes I honestly don't like to say emergency fund because that always kind of lends to something negative. Do you have a freedom fund? Do you have a fancy fund? A fun fund, right? What kind of fund do you have that you're going to be putting money into in the event that you want to do something else with it? It doesn't have to be an emergency. It could be a trip that you want to take. It could be a piece of art that you want to buy that you saw that you loved. It could be a new computer. It could be a cute outfit you saw, right? You want to reward yourself for the hard work, for the good work that you've done. What is it? So, do you have a fund of some sort that you could have money in the event that something happens that you didn't plan for? If you don't, what steps can you take to build one? You don't have to put thousands and thousands of dollars in it each month. If you could put $100 per paycheck in it, that's something to start, right? And then as we start paying off some of those other debts, we can increase that money into that fund. Again, we need to be strategic about powerfully positioning ourselves and our businesses. If you do have one, how can you continue to grow it? How can you increase the amount of funds that you have available to you? Can you put some of those kind of frivolous things on hold for just a bit? Can you invest that money into a team member that's going to increase sales for you? That's going to increase sales calls for you. That's going to take that off of your plate and allow you to focus on the strategic vision of the company. That'll allow you to speak to people who are decision makers, who could potentially broker a contract with you, a long-term deal. What could you be spending your time and energy and brilliance on? That's not administrative in nature. That someone else, quite frankly, could do. Think about these things. All right. Savings are not just for a rainy day. Like I mentioned, it can be your freedom fund, it can be your fun fund, it can be whatever you want to, but it is a safety net and your springboard for future opportunities. And I think that sounds better anyway. This is my springboard for future opportunities. All right. Not my emergency fund, because that lends itself to something negative or, bad happening. And that's not what we want. All righty. We're going to move on to step 3 of this process. So this is the reflection for the financial strengths and the areas of improvement. We don't want to look at this in a negative aspect. It is just opportunities for growth, areas of improvement. So we want to be real. We want to look at what's working and then what needs a little bit of love, what needs a zhuzh to get us to the next level. So I'm calling this the strengths inventory. What are your financial strengths? For example, do you have consistent revenue? Do you have strong profit margins? And do you have low debt? Are you good at sales? Can you close a good sale? You know, are you good at working with clients? Like what are your strengths that lead to a financial increase? Okay. I want you to celebrate your wins because many times we forget that we need to do that, right? We reach a milestone and we're like, oh, that's cool, but we're already busy moving to the next thing. And we forget to celebrate that accomplishment or achievement. So we need to be able to do that. We need to acknowledge what's working because that's just as important as identifying areas that need improvement. Give yourselves a slap on the back. Go take your little break, get you a massage, get your nails done. Take the rest of the day off. Have a CEO Friday. Do what you need to do to celebrate the fact that you accomplished a goal in your business. Because that in and of itself is huge. Many people don't have businesses, or people that had businesses did not stay in business for as long as you did. The American Express survey said that women typically don't make more than $24,000 in their business a year. Maybe you made $24,000 in a sale. Are you celebrating yourself for that magic, that excellence, those achievements? You forget to do that. Have a praise party, do what you need to do, but make sure that you are giving it that attention. Because remember, what we focus on expands. What we focus on attracts. We want to attract more achievements to us, right? All right. So once we've identified those achievements and areas and where we're strong, we want to think about opportunities for growth. So where can you improve? Do we need to think about better cash flow management? Do we need to think about reducing our expenses and increasing profitability? Growth happens at the edge of your comfort zone. So if you're too comfortable, if you're not feeling like anything's a heavy lift, if you're feeling like, I'll get to it whenever I want to, it's probably not big enough for you. It's not a BHAG. It's not a big, hairy, audacious goal. It's something that is maybe in your wheelhouse and your level of expertise, that you could do it. You don't have to put a whole bunch of work into it, but that's not where we want to focus on. We want to focus on those areas where we have the least amount of experience or expertise. How do we grow that muscle? How do we take our arsenal of tools and resources and education and excellence to the next level? What do we need to do in order to grow? I'm constantly thinking about that on a daily basis. I'm like, what can I do to make myself 1% better each and every day? Doing my prayers and meditations, working out. We talked about that physical, having that spiritual connection, emotionally, taking time for myself, taking my deep breaths, doing that body assessment, right? Understanding where I'm holding tension, drinking my water. I'm back with my family, y'all. What am I doing to help me be better each and every day? Reading my books, educating myself on the latest technology, keeping abreast of what's happening in my industry, in fintech, right? These are things that I do. Spending time with my family, doing things that make my heart happy. So I want you to start thinking about that too. That is where growth happens, where we are the least comfortable, where there are the biggest challenges, where it feels like storm after storm after storm. That's where the growth happens. Let me just make sure I have everything that I need for you guys here. Let's see. I know I'm covering this up just a little bit, but the last part of this is vision alignment. We want to talk about that. How well do your current financial practices align with your long-term business goals? What is your vision? We talked yesterday about having a vision, or maybe it might have been Tuesday, of 3 to 5 months, or 3 to 5 years. What is your business going to look like in 3 to 5 years? How well do those current financial practices align with that long-term business vision? Based on what you're doing today, do you think you'll be in business in the next 3 to 5 years? Are you positioning yourself for market ebbs and flows? For change in the buyer cycle? What if it increases to, 60 to 70 touch points next year instead of, 40, which is way up from 5 to 7 in the previous years, right? What do we do about that? Do we have an organic method for getting leads and connecting with people? That could be prospects. Are we leveraging things like our email to connect with people and educate them and indoctrinate them into our systems and what it is that we do and how we can support them? We have to start thinking about these things. So I'm just going to give you a couple minutes for that, just to kind of finish that piece, and then we're going to move to the next step. And then this is the important part. We're going to talk about crafting your proactive business roadmap. Everybody needs a map to get to where they want to go, right? Why does everybody have Waze on their phone? Google Maps, Everybody needs a map. All right. So y'all, cash flow confidence. All right, ladies and gents, my bad. So I'm gonna have to read this to you. You should have it with the link. The last part of this is creating your productive business roadmap, like I mentioned. So now we're going to go into the actual creation. So now that you know where you stand, we need to chart where we're going. We want to set ambitious, aligned goals. Okay, we talked about those SMART goals the other day. Measurable, achievable, time bound, right? And based on your financial assessment, I want you to set 3 financial goals for the next 6 to 12 months. Is it going to be to increase your profit margin based on your industry benchmark? Is it going to be to have $10,000 worth of liquid cash in the event that something happens in our fantastic fund, in our freedom fund? Is it going to be to reduce expenses by 20% so that we can leverage that income somewhere else in our business? What are your 3 goals for the next 6 to 12 months that you're going to not only write down, but work towards? Ambitious goals push you to grow. Align them with your values and ensure that they're sustainable. Is this something that you can reasonably accomplish and keep working towards for the next 6 to 12 months? Again, we're focusing on doing things that are not going to cause overwhelm and burnout and stress and anxiety. What can you do that fits with your desired lifestyle, which we talked about when we first opened up, right? That's going to push the needle in your business. We want the cash register to sing, right? We want to hear cha-chings as often as possible. So what can we do to make sure that happens in our business every day? And then we're going to do some milestone mapping. So I want you to break each of those actionable milestones down into goals. We need to identify what steps need to take in order to reach those goals. So in order for us to increase our profit margins to 40 to 50%, what do we need to do in our business? Do we need to raise our prices? Do we need to shift the scope of some of our current projects? Do we need to take some of our expertise that we've already recorded and turn it into a digital product? Do we need to start charging a retainer for our services and stating that a minimum period of time to work with us is 3 months? Pay it up front. Thank you very much. Is that what we need to do? Do we need to get out in public more, get visible? Do we need to do more live trainings? Do we need to do more workshops, webinars to educate people on what it is that we do and how we can serve them? Right? These are milestones that will help us get to that increase in profit margin. Let's talk about reducing expenses. Let's do an audit on our financial statements. Let's look at our profit and loss statement and see exactly how much we're spending each month on some of these subscriptions. You'll be surprised at how much money you spend. And it's just mindless because it's set up automatically to come from a credit card or a debit card or account. And it's just money, 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 money just flying out the window. I highly recommend that you do that. Pull your financial statements and look at how much money is going out. When you identify those areas that you need to cut them off and look at how much money you'll have back in your pocket. When we talk about growth, are you going to hire someone part-time to help you with sales calls, booking your calendar, outreach and lead generation efforts on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram? Someone to help you take all of your content and turn it into beautiful videos, right? So that it is another source for people to then understand who you are, what you do, who you serve, and how you can help them. Those are the milestones that we need to be breaking down to achieve our goals for the next 6 to 12 months, which in turn lend to our goals for the next 3 to 5 years. So think about those things. And then we're going to close this piece of the exercise with our risk management strategy. Now that we have all of this information, right, we've got our data points, and data helps us make informed decisions. Identify potential risks that could take place or that could derail you from your progress. For example, unexpected market changes, unexpected expenses, unexpected loss of a client who maybe was the majority of the income that you had on a monthly basis. How will you prepare for that kind of shift? What will you do to supplement that income if it's lost? What do we need to do to get more contracts under our belts, more retainer clients into our financial ecosystem, more opportunities to get in front of people? Do we need to get on podcasts? Do we need to start posting on YouTube and LinkedIn Live and Facebook Live? Do we need to go back into our email list and reintroduce ourselves and let them know that we're sorry that we've been ghost for so long, but we're back and this is what we're doing? Listen, y'all better catch these clues. Y'all better catch these gems that I'm dropping, because this is real stuff, y'all. You want to know how to grow a business? This is how you grow a business. This is what I've been doing for the past 20 something years. Okay. Very well. All right. After that, I want you to grade yourselves. If you received a 1 through a 3, you are a financial fixer-upper, and we love you, and that's okay. But your financial foundation score needs some serious love, some TLC, okay? Don't worry, you have the tools to turn it around. So if you go through this exercise that we just did seriously, really outline the things that we talked about, you will have a blueprint to take you to the next level, to get you out of that rut, if you will. If you received a 4 through a 6, you are a financial fortifier. So you're holding your own, but there's room to strengthen your position. So think about building, a building. You want to have those foundational pieces. Are you building your house with bricks, steel beams, cinder blocks? Are you building it with straw, right? Things that are not going to hold up, are going to be sustainable. We want to make sure that we build strong businesses from the inside out. All right. We want to build on those strengths and shore up any weaknesses that you have. If you received a 7 through an 8 on your score, you're a financial powerhouse. Give yourselves a pat on the back and some congratulations. You're in a solid financial position, but now we want to keep refining your strategies and pushing towards even greater financial growth. And then finally, if you were in that 9 to 10 range, you were a financial mogul. So you're not just managing your finances, you're mastering them. So you've partnered with somebody that's helping you through this process. You're leveraging strategic tax strategies to help you keep the money that you're making. You are investing in assets that are going to be income producing. You are reshifting the money that you're making in your business to update and innovate your technology in your onboarding experience and your client experience. You're doing those things. You're mastering them. Keep setting and smashing those goals, just like the mogul that you are. And then you're going to put that action plan into place. So again, we identified those top 3 goals. You're going to create that action plan that we just talked about. And of course, you want to find that accountability partner. We were not meant to be alone as people. We were not meant to build businesses alone as people either. We need a team. We need a support system. We need people who are experts in areas in which we may not be. You need a powerhouse team. You need a money team. Who's going to take your business to the next level? Who's going to understand your vision and help you to execute that vision flawlessly, beautifully, better than you could have even done by yourself, because that is their area of expertise and that's where they shine. So think about those things. Okay. So I just wanted to have you guys go through this because I think it's very important. I think it's very eye-opening. It is groundbreaking, quite honestly, because these are things that we typically don't do. And the best thing about this is that you can understand where you are and where you need to go. You can understand any areas of weakness, or I like to call it improvement. And then we can start to think about, how do we put these strategies into place so that we can take what we need to the next level without a whole bunch of heavy lift. The final thing I'm going to do is just thank you for being with me. I am grateful to have the opportunity to chat with you. I am grateful for the opportunity to be able to connect with you and to just, be here. I'm learning as I'm doing this, and I'm really enjoying being with my people. I'm enjoying educating and empowering and teaching and just spending time. And that is why I am happy to announce that I am opening the doors to Feminine Fortune. It is my 12-month coaching program where we're going to be talking about some incredible things. And what I would love to do, if you wouldn't mind, is just show you some of those things that we will be experiencing in Feminine Fortune. Just give me one sec. Like I said, it is a 12-month program. I'm super excited to be revealing this to you. It is brand new in this sense, in the fact that it's a 12-month program, but it is not brand new in the fact that this is what I do with my clients, essentially. Alrighty, so we're going to talk about Feminine Fortune really quickly. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, it is scrolling. So if you would love to do this in a monthly capacity, that is a link. If you'd like to do this in an annual capacity, that link is available to you as well. So Feminine Fortune is where wealth and wellness collide. I want to welcome you. It is the gateway to unapologetic wealth and wellness. It is a 12-month immersive experience, and it is designed for ambitious women who are ready to claim their throne. We want to transform that hustle into harmony, stress into strategy, and your business into a badass empire. We have monthly interactive live trainings. We're going to be going through the WealthCare framework a lot more deeply. We're going to talk about those holistic strategies to build wealth without sacrificing your well-being. We're going to really start to show you the 3P framework: purpose, profit, and prosperity. And you're going to build those things in your business. We also have the 4 pillars of prosperity, and those are going to be leveraged to help you build a sustainable and successful business full of abundance. We're going to focus on how to build those sustainable businesses. We're going to focus on how to leverage automation and finance and tech so that you can have it all without having to do it all. Execution like never before. Just like we're doing in this live experience, we're going to break things down into tangible, palatable pieces. We're going to actually do the work together so that you understand what needs to happen next. No person left behind, no business left behind. We're going to work together to make sure you get what you need to take it to the next step. Tailored action plans. So you're going to receive customized strategies in line with your unique journey and goals, because every business is different. Clear actionable steps. We'll transform those ideas into concrete tasks that propel your business forward. And overachievement unlocked, I like to call it, because I am an overachiever. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not that girl who's always doing the most. But we're going to say goodbye to overwhelm and hello to unprecedented success with the execution. Because again, you're not doing it yourself. You're not siloed. You're not off somewhere alone trying to figure out what to do next. There's a community aspect here. There's coaching. There's support. There's Q&A. Wealthy resources and rich templates. There's a premium wall. So we have been going through 4 of the resources so far. There are a ton of other resources that we're going to unlock for you. It is a curated collection of resources proven to produce opulent and affluent results. We're going to fast track your success. We're going to leverage these tools to execute flawlessly and accelerate your growth. And then we're going to show up like the powerhouse CEO that you are. Alrighty, dedicated implementation time. I've been in a number of coaching programs, and I'm going to tell you that one of the things that is missing is the fact that you get an assignment and then you're supposed to go off and do it by yourself and then come back with results. A lot of times that does not seem to work because people get into their head, they get discouraged, they get embarrassed, they become vulnerable, and then they quit. They dip out. We don't want that. I mentioned no person left behind, no business left behind. We're going to work together. There's dedicated implementation time. So we will have a task like we went through today, and then we're going to work through it together. And then you're going to go off and refine it and tweak it. And then you're going to come back and ask questions. And then you're going to shift if you need to. And then you're going to go back and implement those strategies. So again, you're going to transform knowledge into tangible progress with structured implementation sessions. We'll dedicate time to apply the learnings, and you're going to witness your empire's expansion and measurable progress. We're going to track your journey from aspiration, right, where we started, to achievement, where we're going to go with these clear milestones. Exclusive Q&A and office hours. There will be real-time solutions to your challenges. We're going to talk through whatever it is that you're going through and find solutions. You'll get personalized answers to your burning questions during these live sessions. And if you opt for a one-on-one coaching session, we can do that too. You get eyes on your business, you get eyes on your financials, you get eyes on whatever it is you need to get past any kind of roadblocks. tailored advice. We talk about tax planning too. We talk about strategy. We talk about how to forecast so that you can hire those team members, so that you can open up a new location, so that you can order more inventory, so that you can do all the things that you want to achieve. And there will be breakthrough moments. You're going to transform those obstacles into opportunities with targeted support and strategies. Your investment in greatness. If you decide to work with me and pay in full for the whole year, there will be exclusive bonuses, which I will go through in just a second. So the pay in full is $18,000. Keep in mind, one of these sessions that I typically do with my clients is $1,500. So I've already given you $6,000 worth of sessions, but free. All right, just think about that in 4 days. If you want to do the monthly plan, it will be 12 payments of $1,800. So I am offering flexible payments. Here are some of the painful bonuses, and this is why I recommend this highly. One, you get to work with me one-on-one. When you choose to pay in full, you're not just securing your place, you are setting yourself up for an experience that goes beyond ordinary. You're unlocking exclusive bonuses designed to elevate your journey, fast track your success, and help you build the life and business you always dreamed of without the burnout, stress, and overwhelm. The first bonus is the Unapologetic Wealth Strategy Session. We're going to start with a 90-minute one-on-one wealth strategy session. It's not just a conversation. It is a personalized deep dive into your unique situation where we're going to map out your financial goals and business dreams in a way that feels real and achievable. I'm going to identify what your goals are, as a CEO, as a woman, as a spouse, as a partner, as a mother, as a community impactor, innovator, all the things. And then we're going to plan for that. We're going to build this business around your life, not your life around the business. The second bonus is the CEO Blueprint Bundle. So I'm going to give you access to the Affluent CEO Blueprint Bundle. It's a collection of the resources and templates and tools that you haven't seen here. They're going to help you run your business smoothly and efficiently. We're talking about budget plans. We're talking about profit and loss statements that you can leverage to see what it would look like if you changed your pricing. We're talking about profit first implementation. So we're going to walk through that and how to implement that into your business. We're talking about a ton of things. We're talking about AI tools that I haven't gotten to yet, but we're going to take your business to the future with innovation in AI, just in case you didn't know. And then bonus 3 is access to the Feminine Fortune Mastermind. I'm going to give you access to a group of other women who are just like you, who are ready to take their business to the next level, and they want to meet in a more comfortable, more intimate space. So we will talk about all of those things together. Okay. You're going to be able to have that access. Again, it's a space to connect, share, and grow with others. We're going to have opportunities to collaborate. We're going to have opportunities to be on podcast, opportunities to speak in summits. There is going to be an opportunity for growth at an incredible scale in the mastermind. So that is why it is so beneficial for you to join at the annual level. And I'm still debating, but my goal is to have a retreat before the 12 months is over as well. So just keep that in mind in case you're wondering. So that is what I have for you. Those are the bonuses for paying in full. I would love for you to claim your throne. Look at this. Poverty, burnout, and overwhelm are at her feet. They are crumbling. They are not a part of her language or her vernacular or her verbiage. I want you to step into your brilliance. Stop playing small. It's time to rise and claim your rightful place. Redefine the success. Build a life and a business that feels as good as it looks. And then unapologetic affluence. Command wealth in all forms, mindset, body, spirit, and achieve financial abundance. That is my desire for you. That is what is going to wait for you in Feminine Fortune. These are the links at the bottom, tinyurl.com/FFannual and tinyurl.com/FFmonthly. And FF stands for Feminine Fortune. All right, ladies and gents, these are also links here. You can join here. It gives you a breakdown of everything at the link. Thank you for being with me today. I cannot wait to see what happens tomorrow. Day 5 is coming up. Get excited. We're going to break down that 3P framework that we talked about and really start getting into making the money. All righty. I want to thank you so much. Let me know if I missed anything. I'm just going to check the comments one more time. I don't see anything here that I missed. I appreciate y'all for connecting and chatting in the chat box and letting me know what's going on. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good day, y'all. Bye-bye.